I am here with a whole gaggle of people. We have Ryan Bunting, who is out right now, so we're going to skip over him. And Ross Burdian, you were going to give your intro first, because I let everybody else intro here because I'm lazy.
Hi, I am Rothbardian. You might know me from Twitter,
Okay.
and I came to hang out.
Awesome. And then we have Shannon back again to talk more.
Hey guys, Shannon Cruel Spark on Twitter. I'm just here to hang out, look pretty. What
David
am I
is
gonna
back
plug?
again to also talk more.
That's the hope, at least. I'm David, underscore at Liberty Wizard, or at a Liberty Wizard. That's wrong. Whatever, it's on the screen. But I'm also here to look prettier than Shannon and talk as much as possible.
What else?
Perfect. And we have Tyler Yonky.
Yes, Tyler
There we
Young.
go.
Thank you.
Last time I had him on my show, this was the whole joke, as it always
Right.
is. But yes.
Yeah, that the name's always a joke. Tyler, check me out on Twitter. I have a libertarian podcast. It's called Libertarian Podcast Review. I kind of introduce you to those autistic stars you didn't know you needed to have in your life. And I'm here to fill out the Brady Bunch thing, I guess.
Yeah, we have the perfect 9 going on. Rise to Liberty Pod. You want to give yourself an introduction?
Well, that's pretty much just it. It's Rise to Liberty. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet under that moniker. So I'm here to hopefully break that government-sanctioned programming we all received in government schools. So
And Kareem, as always.
Hey, I'm a co-host. Happy to be here again. You can find me on Twitter at Green4Liberty. I'm also a state organizer for Mises in Pennsylvania. I was a delegate. Super excited to be here.
Awesome. And we have Sam down there from Black Flag.
I'm Sam. I'm from the Black Flag podcast, and you can also find me on Twitter at Black Flag Pod. I sometimes tweet.
Okay, and your microphone sounds like
Is it
AIDS. I don't know if it sounds that way for everybody else, but it sounds really crackly.
okay?
Have you ever had Henry Rollins on? Henry Rollins?
Okay. I'm hearing sound in the background. Are you guys hearing that?
What are you doing?
What's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? I'm back.
Hey, that actually worked out perfect because he's
Yeah.
the next intro.
What's going on, everybody? I'm back. My name is Ryan Bunting. I rose to prominence in Liberty Twitter after I gave Thomas Salmons a hand job in a Gloucester City parking lot. And he had me on his podcast to talk about this book that I wrote back in May of 2020. And ever since then, I've just been kind of using the Kamala Harris method and sucking my way to the top.
I think he might be the prettiest on screen now.
It's promising.
Why is he using a blowhorn?
Dude, no, he somehow his microphone still managed to sound better than Sam's.
Right. Sam's is plugged into some homeless guy.
He's actually just using he's literally using McDonald's internet.
Sam is using Aaron's Wi-Fi. Aaron from Timeline Earth. He's using his Wi-Fi underneath the overpass. So that's why he sounds so crisp and clean.
Aaron lives much closer to me and David than he does to you. My autism needs me to say that.
That's why the microphone quality is what it is.
He is catching the Wi-Fi from Massachusetts.
Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff we're going to talk about today, including Patriot Front, which is kind of the main thing, this false flaggy stuff in general. But I do want to talk a little bit about this topic because this kind of got sent to me originally because I saw the post on Facebook. Somebody sent it to me. So at the Libertarian Party convention, they had a bunch of different tables of people speaking. And one of those events that they did was with Ed Snowden. That event took place. It was a speech kind of talk given. It was recorded by someone and then uploaded onto YouTube and to Odyssey. Now, it was copyright claimed and then was removed off of YouTube and is now living solely on Odyssey. Now, it was claimed by Libertarian Policy Institute, which is headed up by none other than the head fed himself, Nicholas Sarwark.
Right to jail, right away.
And so, left with kind of a bad taste in my mouth for a few reasons. One is, from the way that I understand copyright law, this is complete and utter horseshit. This doesn't really work because he recorded the footage. The event was also partially paid for by Libertarian Institute, but that's not really, again, how it works. The LP is the one putting on the talk. So, all in all, from what I understand, he doesn't have a claim to the video or anything. So he did respond by claiming ownership and saying, hey, he can't copyright strike me. Responded to the claim, sent off, saying, hey, listen, this was my footage, I took it. So now there's 30-day period where Sarwark can drop that claim. If he doesn't, then he has to respond with some kind of court filing. I guess we'll get Tyler's thoughts on this, obviously, since, the whole lawyer thing.
Yeah, I've actually had some dealings with the copyright stuff on YouTube, which I just have a strong distaste for how they do it, which is you make a claim, and people do this. You see it with patents too, where people could come in and make claims and just make a claim, and that's the problem. So this guy puts up his own video. Sarwark makes this claim. They immediately take it down. Now, the process actually on Odyssey is different, right? So, which is if you have they have to go through this whole process. They make a claim on there. It's not taken down right away. They have to go then and prove that you've actually, don't have a claim to this process. So there's all kinds of exceptions. There's fair use exception, which is the typical thing. But this guy is saying it's his own actual video. So YouTube, once again, is horrible with this thing because this guy is presumed guilty just by the fact that Sarwark feted him out like this before, we're able to even work your way through the process. And I've dealt with this in YouTube myself. You make a claim, you can counter it. Sometimes they'll just drop it. Or then, like you said, you have 30 days and they will actually, contact you and then try to serve you and file a lawsuit, which then that could be a big problem. Nick has this institute. I don't know who this other guy is. He's not going to want to pay an attorney to go after him. If Nick files a lawsuit,
Yeah.
Now you're in trouble.
On that note, that was one of the things that I said was that it's going to have to be, if this does go forward, if he does feel like progressing legal stuff, it's going to have to be crowdfunded, and he's going to have to get support from everybody in the movement and try to actually, screw him in court, which would be hilarious to see happen. But it is going to take some money and stuff. I mean, it would be very difficult. But at the same time, it's messed up. I guess
let me say it before, and I'll let everyone else jump in here, and I'll kind of take the backseat. But which is, I don't know that this guy wants to pursue this. I mean, it's a pain in the ass, and I don't know that you get anything out of it other than you win, and then you get to have your video up. I mean, I don't know that there's much damages that he's going to be able to collect on that side. So the whole process is not about doing anything other than Nick just causing trouble. So.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what, I'm friends with Mitch. He actually sat next to me during the delegation in Reno. And to me, this is just Nick trying to cause problems. It's kind of like just a dog, with no teeth is just going to bark at you and bark at you and bark at you. They lost. They're bitter about it. They can't get over it. Here's the thing I don't get. A lot of people who didn't like what we were doing just went to the Keystone Party. I'm not saying you should like it or not like it, but okay, they went over there. I don't know all their policies. If there's something that aligns with me, I'll consider going. That being said, to me, he should just drop all this BS go to another party or just call it quits instead of just sitting here and being like, I don't like what you did. I don't like this video. I don't like this messaging, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to win again. Nobody wants this woke vegetarian stuff.
To an extent, Sarwark is a troll. Like, he gets off in the same way that an internet troll does. So, like, even us talking about this gives him some notoriety, but the fact is that, like, I'm talking about this more from the YouTube side of things. YouTube's system is fucked. And, like, I see this happening with content creator after content creator. It's used as a bully tactic to get people to remove videos, right? There's a whole thing going on right now on YouTube with this Quantum TV dude. Because he called up this other YouTuber's mother and, like, doxed his shit. Like,
React Man.
Yes. The React Man stuff. And so, like, React Man is talking about this, trying to get this guy's YouTube's attention to take action on this. Other YouTubers jumped in the fray. YouTube turns around and demonetizes the dude who's trying to get something done about it for a joke that he made on Twitter off platform. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, their whole system is fucked, regardless of political lines.
He's not even a troll, though. He's not a troll. I'll tell you why he's not a troll, because he's completely reactionary to one side. Like, a troll usually gets out there and instigates a response. Like, I've trolled people. I go out and I'm like, ha, 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 this thing, and then someone gets mad. Whatever it is. Like, you know, even if it's simple as something like, I'll just repeat something Tucker Carlson or like a joke or whatever. Or I'll bring up something about like AR-15s or swap it with an AR-10 and someone gets mad. That to me is actually like a like troll thing.
Yeah.
Sarwark, you do something and he just gets mad. Like, I'll get you. That's not really a troll. He's just, I don't know what that is.
Hey Kareem, do you know if your buddy that did the film, if there were any signs up in the auditorium saying recording's not allowed or anything like that?
I don't think so. And here's the thing. Tara DeSisto told me, okay, she's like, I got Edward Snowden here. You know, I did it. I put all this effort to get him here. And I'm like, good for you. So everybody should hear his message. And she said, yeah. So to me, if we're all on the same team as what they're claiming, why is it bad if the content is getting distributed to other places? Like if someone, you know, takes a message I have or something I have and distributes it somewhere, but actually gets results, I'm not going to lose my mind. That's what I want. So it seems they care more about like trying to maintain their grip over the party than actually have the party bring about real freedom. Which for the life of me.
Yeah, I think you're correct in that.
I mean, Tara DeSisto served for like the development of the LNC, which was to raise money. At the time of the convention, the LNC was broke. And I am very happy that David and I don't have to listen to Tara DeSisto talk in any context.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything bad about anyone. I don't
I will say plenty about it, but Tara DeSisto.
Okay, fair enough, but I'm not even going. Here's what I'm saying. I'm just bringing out the thing. I saw her in the airport. She said, don't vote as a block. Vote on your own. I said, okay, yeah, that's what I'm here to do.
Tara DeSisto kicked out
Tyler,
27
you
of us as a
ruined it.
block.
Then she
Who's
said,
gonna
hey,
let
guys.
him go?
She said, hey, guys, let's all vote. And I said, Tara, don't vote as a block. Don't. She's like, what? I'm like, don't vote as a block. Don't tell the guy how to vote. And then literally Sarwark's like, don't listen to him. He's and I'm like, okay, you said don't vote. I'm quoting you. I quote everything she says. And then I also asked her, I said, I don't want wokeness in the Libertarian Party. And she said, what is woke? And I defined it as a structure that puts identitarianism over, you know, other values. And she's like, well, I don't know what that means. I'm like, don't you identify as woke? So why are you asking me what woke is?
You're trying to reason with somebody trying to gaslight you.
Yeah, she is. Then that's exactly what it is. And that's exactly what that whole side of thing, the movement liked to do, and that's what I think we're trying to move away from. The entire the problem that I have with this in particular, like the striking the video, isn't like YouTube system is fucked. We all know that. It's the fact that this is only being done out of it's a petty move. Like, you're just doing it just to give the middle finger to some random guy who uploaded a piece of content, like, who arguably isn't, like, I don't see him attacking anything or putting into comment sections and stuff all that much. So it's like, it pissed me off. And in general, like, YouTube is something, like, Shannon, you're in chats of all these channels. Like, what's your take on this? Like, you see people upload or talk about content a lot.
Shannon,
In
what
terms of-
podcast are you watching right now as you're on this one?
Well, what do you
Is
mean?
Dan
Like,
Smots
what do
live?
you mean, Leighton? What do you
Well,
mean?
like, okay, so other content creators, you watch other, like, people and other streams. It's pretty cohesive, not just on the libertarian side. Everybody hates YouTube's system, and everybody hates the petty way that people use the copyright claiming feature. So, like, this whole thing is stupid. It pisses me off from all directions.
So I have a question, and Tyler might know, like, if you guys were there, Dan Smots asterisk, did he film any of that? Did he film any of the
no, I don't believe he
think he
filmed
did.
the table talks, no.
No, I don't.
That was the same
So
time as
isn't it-
Tom Wood's
Yeah.
speech.
So he would have been
Okay.
over there, if anything.
Okay, that was because I was confused about that. Because isn't it if whoever records it, Tyler? So say I take a picture with my camera and I take a picture of Tyler and Leighton. Isn't that my property?
Yeah. I mean, there could events could put up restrictions, right? You see this.
So that's what you asked. If
So
there was
I
restriction.
have asked people who were there, a ton of them, whether or not there was anything talking about videography, photography, anything like that. There was not. Multiple videos were posted from the event. None of those were targeted. There were even other clips of Snowden's speech given that weren't targeted. It was only this one because it was the whole thing, and because on the Libertarian Institute site, they have up on there the thing that that claimed it. He has on their site that it's an exclusive, and has it right across the top of it that it's an exclusive speech. And it's like, well, no, it's not, because you can't do that. Like, you didn't put on the event, it's not your speech, and regardless of whether he donated money or anything like that, that doesn't really have anything to do with the LNC event as a whole, because that's what this is inside of. And the people who were going to that event were people who were signed up for the LNC stuff. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And so from what I understand, there is no leg to stand on as far as any kind of actual copyright claim.
Like you said, like the only thing that I can think of is like Ricada Law. Like there's certain ones like that they get targeted. But it's that counterclaim, and if go ahead and do that and like stick it out. But usually this is like
you gotta have the
rare.
money to do it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Let me just make one quick comment. So a lot of those, by the way, if you're, someone has a video up and you're using that video and now you're changing it, you're doing commentary on it, like what Ricada does, that's more fair use exemption and section 107 of the whatever law it is. So that's that. This is a guy filming. He's not doing a commentary. He's not doing any changes to the actual thing, but he's not stripping the stream itself. So I think he's justified for what he's doing, as long as there was no declaration, up front that you can't record. And if you are, it's the property of NFL football and, whatever.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of how I looked at it too. It doesn't seem to be anything that, like, from a legal standpoint, I don't think Sarwark has a leg to stand on. It's just that it will make it really irritating and difficult to deal with going forward if he did want to do something legally after the 30 days, because that's going to involve a lot of money and lawyers and bullshit that people don't want to get involved in. I do think there would be a lot of crowdfunding, and that probably would go away.
I think he would just make himself look even.
More like an idiot.
But at this point,
like
Kareem, at this point, he's already looked like an ass. Like his wife was his wife even there? She was probably embarrassed to even be in the same.
No, she wasn't there. She wasn't there. To me, this is like the DNC. I don't like him. And he's part of the deep state, and he's still a puppet of Klaus Schwab. But this is like the DNC trying to go after Trump. It's just like, okay, we impeached him 7 million times. We had a January 6th hearing. I'm like, okay, like for the 100th time, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, stop stop just doing it. It's just a waste of time. Just, go home.
Did anyone see the Edward Snowden speech? And how's my audio? Is it still terrible?
It's better than before. It was a little bit crackly there, but I'm not sure. That might just be.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I think it's just whatever cord you're using or something.
I'm just going naked with just the phone, so.
Okay, yeah, you're better. It sounds much better. You're fine.
Remember, Nick called the cops on a guy that he ran into. So this is just filing a claim for a copyright is really not a big deal.
No, exactly. Yeah. All right. Next story, and I think this is actually, no, we're gonna save this. We're gonna talk about this one first. I'm sorry, I was gonna do the Patriot Front one first, but we're gonna do this instead.
Jake Paul.
Because, yeah, Jake Paul is calling out Joe Biden on Twitter, and that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. What did he say?
He said Biden's an idiot, and that anybody who voted for him's an idiot, and that he fucked up the economy. That was basically the general discussion. So this was a hit piece written by the SPLC against Subscribestar. And I saw this article, I read it, and it's pretty hilarious. If anybody knows, Subscribestar is like a platform where people can go it's like basically Patreon mixed with PayPal. It's the easiest way to explain it. It's an online subscription platform, is allowing dozens of far-right propagandists, conspiracy theorists, and purveyors of medical disinformation to generate almost $2 million a year from fans, Hate Watch has established. And we were discussing in the pre-stream, me and Ryan here, about the fact that somehow the Southern Poverty Law Center manages to make the best profile photos.
Somehow.
Every single one of these is
I'm
it's
about to make
photo.
this picture of Alex Jones and Carl Benjamin my fucking Facebook header image because that looks incredible. Yeah. They have the comic book dithering and everything. It looks really good.
Yeah. They did the same thing with the Mises Caucus one. It's like they used a photo of Michael Heiss, and it's like him smiling, and I'm like, that's a great photo. And then it's Jeremy Kaufman looking all serious.
Mike looks super happy. Yeah. Look. Obviously, the Mises Caucus is just a bunch of horrible anti-Semites.
Just bigots.
We're just horrible anti-Semites.
Who's running a Jew for president?
Who belong to a caucus that's named after
a Jew.
And that are planning on running a Jew for a presidential candidate. We hate them so much that we pretend to love them.
Don't forget the two black guys they tried to promote, which were Maj Touré and Hotep Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, dude, this is 4-dimensional racism. Right there. Okay, this is 4D racism. People don't understand.
Tyler, were you at?
We're all about the long game. We pretend to give them a platform.
Legit question.
So that 10 years from now we can be like, pull the rug out from under them.
Exactly what does the SPLC do? Is my question. I've
organized Jewry.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that what you do?
They promote poverty in the South.
I think I'm the only one allowed to. I think I'm
they
the only one allowed.
Southern poverty, apparently, based
they
on
are
their
doing an excellent job at that.
Well, heck, they must be part of the Biden administration. Hell, let's print $10 trillion. Prices went up. Oh shit! Let's print more.
But I find this hilarious because to me this is a perfect example of how the I guess censorship through tech kind of works is right. Patreon will ban people who they don't like. That's just how they work now. They were famous for rid of Carl Benjamin, which created the great purging of people leaving Patreon and going to Subscribestar. It's why the platform really exists in the way that it does today. So now that they have this competition that is in the workforce to Patreon, one that is growing at a pretty high rate, they got to come along and try to nip at its heels. Many of these content creators were previously banned from other subscription and content hosting platforms because of their extremist content, disinformation, and off-platform behavior. I think that's one of my favorites, where it's now just become okay to say that you're banning people for stuff that they said not even on your platform.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not new. That's been the case for a long time in terms of
Extremist
jobs.
content.
If I go back pre-20, like 2015, 14, I wasn't hearing about it.
Yeah,
like
no,
I
mean,
know
like,
people were, but like,
no,
right.
I'm saying that like it's not a feature of 2022. It's a feature of 2015.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. The whole thing's irritating to me. Extremists collecting money on the site pay 5% of the money they generate from fans to Subscribe Star, or less at Subscribe Star discretion. This means Subscribe Star and Russian founder. I love that they immediately go Russian. He's a dirty Russian. The Russian
Those
founder.
slippery Cossack sluts.
Stay afraid.
I'm not even gonna try that.
Hey man, Putin caused inflation. Don't you know that?
Oh God, fucking Putin caused inflation. It's all the Russians.
And it's Putin who helped the Mises caucus take over.
I mean, I have my connections.
I wish we fucking had Putin money. They think we're funded by Putin and fucking Bannon.
Dude,
if Bannon wants to throw some of his money to the Mises caucus, homie, send it on over.
Fucking,
Jesus
give
Christ,
me a
we could
wheelbarrow.
use them
I'll help
dollars.
carry it.
Let me carry that water.
That article is just regurgitating state talking points, though. It's just complete trash. Which anyone with 2 brain cells would see.
100%. Well, I mean, that's everything that they put out.
What gets me is the right can only be extremists, but you can have people on the left say, "Oh, well, I can take my kid to a club that says it's not going to lick itself," and just kind of moderate, hanging out. Nothing here. I mean,
silence bigot. Silence bigot.
Silence.
That is sexual positivity. There's nothing immoral happening in front of these children. It's just like going to Hooters. Yeah, except at Hooters, the fucking 8-year-olds don't put dollar bills into the waistbands of the waitresses.
Oh, you're going to the wrong Hooters.
That's the wrong Hooters. Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been missing this.
Wait. Are we talking about cheerleaders? Because that's a different thing entirely.
I don't know.
Dark website selling alleged Western weapons sent to Ukraine. This is a hell of a fucking headline.
Yeah, the dark website selling Western weapons to Ukraine is whitehouse.gov.
It's the.
By the way, don't go to whitehouse.com. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no. Don't do that.
Made that mistake at work once.
Oh.
Hope they don't check your history.
All the weapons we're sending to Ukraine, though, like the Ukrainians are just selling those themselves on the internet. Like, here's a javelin, give me $20,000.
Exactly. So several
capitalism. I love it.
Wait a minute. Are you fucking telling me that I can get a
So here's a literal javelin ad, by the way.
Now? 30.
Yeah.
All right.
Good luck getting it shipped here, but you can buy it.
It's a little bit outside my price range. If it was 20, we might be in business.
There you go. I was on the cheap side.
Here is the FGM 148 Javelin is a man-portable fire and forget anti-tank guided missile ATGM system with an effective range of 2.5 kilometers. It was designed to defeat heavily armed vehicles such as main battle tanks and lighter skinned. Lighter skinned? Wait a minute, they're only going after the fucking.
This listing was put up by Azov Battalion.
I know, there it is.
Azov Battalion eBay listing.
Eastern European only.
Tanks and lighter-skinned military vehicles. The weapon also has compatibility against other target types like fortifications, bunkers, and helicopters, as well as civilians. Just saying.
The first reaction to this is it's written in fairly good phonetic and proper English.
You're right.
Probably.
But I mean, typically you see these scam things from, who's getting these? It's Eastern Europe, someone over there, and they're selling it. This is the State Department selling this. That's what I'm saying.
I get it, but I would love to see. I would just love to see, because he likes to share stuff on Twitter, what Eyepatch McCain would say about this. Because he's like, we got to do it 40 billion so we can defeat Russia without having to spend any money. I'm like, okay, fine. here's what's happening with your $40 billion package, or however much money we sent. I lost track. What do you think now? I just would like to see him well, democracy. We had to do it. Like this is to me the whole Syrian rebel thing all over again.
Yeah.
I just love that
Elizabeth.
the website is like, there are these horrible dark web websites selling FJB 148s or whatever the fuck it's called, and then they post
Who's sending them to him?
and then they post a link to the dark web website where you can buy a fucking javelin. They're like, oh, this is so horrible, please don't click this link. It's like you ever see It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? And
Yes.
they're like, oh yeah, I think they're talking about like strippers or prostitutes or something, and Mac is like, oh my god, that's horrible. Where? That's what they're doing in this article. They're like, look at this horrible website that you should never ever go to buy dark web weapons because it's totally not a federal honeypot. By the way, we embedded a fucking iframe of the website that you can buy it from in the article.
You know why? How do you know it's not? You know how you know it's the feds? Because they are not coming out talking about price gouging. If it was the market, they would be upset about price gouging on these.
Here's the most ironic thing. It's actually not Ukraine. In my opinion, I can't. Well, me and paleo conservatives do agree on this. I can't prove this, but I have strong suspicions. Nick Fuentes was the first person actually to let me know.
He is only referred to as cum hunter on this show.
I actually do like the guy. Come on, he's fighting the globalists. But he's
a fucking cum hunter.
Everybody needs hobbies. I don't know.
Everybody needs hobbies.
Kareem loves everyone. That's what I love about
Kareem. Loves everybody, including cum hunters.
So Nick Fuentes and Terra DeSisto.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I love them.
They can come hunt together.
Anyway, him and other paleo conservatives actually point out that all the money and weapons that we give Israel and Saudi Arabia, they cooperate directly with China. They're like, check out this American gear. So to me, it's even more ironic that, our sworn enemy China, where do they get our stuff? How do they know how to get all these missiles?
They get it from wish.com like the rest of us.
They get it from basically Mossad.com and whatever freaking thing
Actually, I believe they're a .org. They're a non-profit.
Doubt.
But yeah, Israel and Saudi Arabia.
That's how they hide all the federal funding.
Oh God, Fire and Forget sounds like Home Shopping Network selling WMDs. It literally does.
Was that Magoo?
It's buy one get one free.
I mean, it's a hell of a deal. Even 30 grand, because those go for 130. Like that's what we pay for a javelin from whoever the fuck makes them.
No, that is what we paid for a javelin, and they're selling it.
And they're
for 30
reselling it. Yeah. I think it's a honeypot, though. I bet a bunch of stupid kids tried to purchase one.
That's one fucked up pawn.
Yeah, some 19-year-old Bitcoin millionaire is like, I want a javelin.
I'm gonna buy 10.
I think I thought about that at first when I first saw it. I was like, this is just the media stirring stuff up. But there's too many people on random forums and stuff that are talking about it like it's real for me to think that this isn't something tangible. Here's my thought. Whether it's javelins and full-on missiles, we know that some Western weapons that are getting sent over there are going to end up on the darknet. That's just going to happen. Because weapons do get sold on there.
$2 billion worth in Afghanistan that is being sold right now.
Right, exactly.
I'll buy a fucking Black Hawk. Let's go.
To confirm what Kareem's saying, I'm right along with there. I don't think China is some deadly, I do think they're a paper tiger to an extent, but there's areas, for instance, food rations is something they have been gathering up an awful lot of. That's something that's interesting to me. Land, stuff like that. Most of it appears to be stuff like what you're kind of pointing towards, infrastructure things that are going to be valuable after an economic collapse, because I think they're planning on there to be an economic collapse. So they're investing in things like food, especially, which can be used as like a bargaining chip and things like that, because it makes more sense. So that's like how I look at China. I know a lot of people are like, China, man, they're out to get us, and they are like, to an extent. The government is. The people aren't, of course.
Well, Washington will get to you before China as well. That's the thing I always wanted to ask. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene goes on Tim Pool and she's like, "We need to unite against China." I'm like, okay, okay. Here's my question, Marjorie. The institution you work at destroyed the dollar, is pushing woke propaganda on everybody. Send us to a bunch of useless wars. Is spying on us.
He's not here either, which makes this way better. I'm just gonna leave this on screen till he gets back.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about China until Washington's out of the way. I just don't. I don't care. Like
I mean, China is a problem, though. They're not going to invade us, but they're doing a pretty good job just kind of poking holes and messing things up.
I will say that the federal government has done more damage, in my opinion, than China could ever dream to do.
I agree.
I'm actually with Kareem because the only reason that China is competitive in the global economy is because of the shit that the federal government has done. Yeah. Because China, despite being a fucking communist nightmare, they realized that a certain level of capitalism was required. So they freed their markets just enough to allow prosperity. And then they also still control all of the things that their government controls. And they found this balance. And we're just over here like, oh yeah, Postmates, here's what to eat if you don't want to shit on your gay husband's cock. Order from our special menu so that you don't get.
Here's a fun.
Here's what to get from Postmates so that you don't get poo poo on your Peter.
I wouldn't necessarily.
You don't want to get the monkeypox.
It's that they open their market.
Maybe for people we don't know, we should tell them what the ad was. The Postmates ad, because like at first it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And then
God, don't make me watch it again.
We're not gonna watch it.
Well, you guys mentioned it.
Well, we might watch it.
I can summarize.
No, Masha's got a point. Masha's got a point.
And then we can go back to China.
Once we fuck some butts, we're going right back to China.
So,
like, as long as
so we'll talk about this
Russia.
while I bring this video up and stuff. We can talk about this topic, which involves China, which is, do you think invasion of Taiwan is actually a thing that's happening, or is it just a media talking point? Because I'm convinced at this point it's just a media talking point.
They've wanted it for decades.
They do.
Yeah.
I think they do. Yeah. But I don't think they actually have the ability to do it because of the connections that Taiwan has to other countries and Europe and other areas. Like, I don't think... Well, and us, but I don't think we're gonna I think it's more of a financial connection to us and weapons and money.
I think they want to do it, but right now, Russia's kind of stealing the thunder. Like, I think if China's going to do the Taiwan thing, they want the full media coverage because the Chinese Communist Party is a propaganda machine, and they want to be like, look, we are going to invade them, but we're going to give them the glory of the Chinese Communist Party. Mm-hmm. And those events happen in this right here.
Well done.
But truthfully, I think I don't think they're going to do it while there's another active invasion, whatever you want to call it.
So
I think they, if they're going to do it, they're going to wait until they have the news cycle, because
they don't
as
care.
much as I dislike the CCP for being a communist party, they are admittedly wise enough to know that they need the media cycle on their side. And right now, because of the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, if they did this while that was happening, they'd be painted as villains. But if they wait another 2-3 years, whenever this whole other thing resolves one way or another, CNN and MSNBC can basically lionize them and make them what they want to be perceived as.
Can I say one thing that sounds terrible?
Yep.
If China takes Taiwan, because of environmentalists here, I've talked to this about military people, we can't really get chips for our weapon systems that would also be bad for computers. But that might be the actual end of the MIC.
Yes.
You're not actually wrong.
Which is part of China's plan, as far as I can tell. I wholeheartedly disagree with you, Ryan. I don't think China gives a single fuck about anything outside of China. There's a bunch of things happening. If I can just have a minute to go on a little fucking autistic rant, even though
please do.
I'm a little autistic.
Go for it.
We're all libertarians.
No kidding.
Go ahead.
So
we're not, but okay.
Well, you're not. So anyway, there is a lot going on, and America has never been this weak in a lot of different ways. First and foremost, we do need the chips. They make a lot of stuff for our everyday stuff. All of our military stuff is built in-house. We don't buy chips from them for our weapon systems. That's an ITAR thing. But if they took Taiwan, they can put a stranglehold on the rest of the fucking world very quickly. And there's no reason for them to care if we think that they're assholes if they win. And they could probably do it this fall because we don't have enough fuel to fight a war with China. No. We will lose. Everything except our friggin' aircraft carriers would be just sitting ducks. Our reserves are at the lowest they've been in a very, very long time. And with how much equipment we have, they're lower proportionally than they've ever been.
I get it.
And we keep sending our fuel over to Ukraine, which is an awesome way for us to become weaker. Russia's working kind of with China as a distraction so that China can move on Taiwan. They've wanted that forever. They want it back. They really just hate them. They'll probably kill them all and just put their own people in there. And that'll be that.
You know what? That's actually an extremely good point and a very compelling argument. And
so I'm actually going to piggyback on that just a little bit.
That makes sense to me.
So I think that not only that, but I don't think China has the resources to be able to have a prolonged conflict.
No.
You know, they put up a lot of front, and they probably want to be able to take Taiwan very quickly, because right now they would have to drag it out, which would end up in turn showing their weakness, and that's just something they couldn't have.
They've been building amphibious assault craft for the last, I want to say 5 years, but I'm probably wrong
Rise,
on that.
Can you turn up your microphone on your end at all?
To be fair, do you think China would? They might try and take. I would guess they would try and take Japan or Korea or maybe Vietnam or something, but I don't think they would fight us. So can't we?
I think this plays into what I mentioned, which is I agree with everything that David said in the sense that like and to an extent what Rice said in the sense that they have to take it like fast all at once, right?
Yeah.
But I think at the same time, with them thinking the West's economy is not doing good, I think they are definitely paying attention to that, right? Because that's the whole point of them trying to move away from the financial things that they're doing. But I think that feeds into the fact that at the end of the day, if the collapse here happens, economy-wise, it will affect all these neighboring countries to China, especially Indian areas, those areas which they already have, talked about previously and made moves previously to try to get land there and kind of move borders and things like that. So I think ultimately what will happen is that will happen. Economic crash takes place here. They see an opportunity. They might take Taiwan then, right? Because they can do it all at once. And you're right that we don't have fuel. We can't really stop it. That leaves Taiwan to get help from other countries that aren't the U.S., which really don't have the infrastructure to do it. So China takes Taiwan, and then they use all the food storage and all the things that they have economically as bargaining chips with the other neighboring countries to get favor and basically control them from the outside. Like, they don't even need to really invade those countries anymore. They can just use their economic system to just take them over that way. Which is what I think they kind of planned on doing anyway, because I think at the end of the day, I don't see them taking over Taiwan and necessarily turning it into China. I think they take Taiwan and take over the government and put in new laws and things like that, but they're not going to China-fy Taiwan. They're going to let them do their own thing and just enact their economic system and use it as a money siphon. So the chips, all that stuff will still get made.
I just want to interject and say that China-fy is extremely racist and very hurtful.
China-fy.
That is extremely insensitive.
There's some other ways that I could phrase it that would be way worse.
I actually believe
origin. I am 1/8 Chinese. I am 1/8 black.
Your pinky toe is slanted.
Wow.
This video already had no hope of being monetized, but that right there was the last nail in the coffin.
Are you good at math?
His pinky toe sure is. Put that
one.
fucker next to a calculator and watch him go.
I can't use an abacus, but my pinky toe sure can.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Holy fuck.
That should be in the name of
Wow,
the
Leighton.
episode. Slanted pinky toe. Although that would be
Ryan
hard
can't
to-
be the only one who
That
gets
would
in
be a good
trouble.
name for an episode.
Masha and
I
I
get
are
in
on our
trouble.
best behavior.
I don't have my own podcast. I just go on other people's podcasts and say horrible things and get
Hey,
them
that's
in
what
trouble.
I do all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I was telling Ryan before this stream that the edit of him on Swamp Creatures is, other than the one that mentioned Martha Bueno, the only fucking edit I've ever made that made people DM me. Because there's just a clip, and it's just, we're taking back Porch Monkey. Like, that's
We're bringing it back, man.
we're bringing it back. That clip, man, it fucking, dude, there was a 3-minute conversation during that show about the word male monkey. It was great.
Yeah, from the Clark. I love that.
Shout out to Mitch and the boys in Florida for being G's and inviting me on the show, despite Mitch texted me and was like, hey, we're having a podcast episode, and I was like, okay, just fucking fair warning, like, you're not gonna be monetized ever.
So, by the way,
after you have me on there,
I got followed today by Dr. Lepore, so I think possibly getting on the show will. Yes.
We can totally get Amy on here.
I hadn't
Amy is one of the
reached
sweetest
out.
people on earth. She's a very close friend of mine. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm also I am a recent Delawarean. I moved here in 2020. And the reason I even got involved with politics is because I met Amy, her husband Dylan, the Newcastle County Treasurer Carter, like just a ton of just absolutely excellent people. Amy's incredible. She's kind of like our group mom. She kind of keeps us in check. Yeah, she is spectacular.
I think I met Amy.
No, I told Dylan
during the Mises Caucus bash in Massachusetts. I think that David met Amy too that night.
Yep.
Yeah. So just for context, David
Dylan
and I
is
are
now
meat-based friends.
We are
referred
right.
to as Dr. Amy's husband, and he said that it was spite. So
exactly,
Dr. Amy's husband.
Well, that's
She's a
because
badass.
Dylan looks like a fucking cop. He isn't, but he looks like a fucking cop, and he busts his balls for looking like a cop all the time. Yeah, no, Amy is a fucking absolute powerhouse. She is so fucking well spoken.
Better person.
Your internet is backed up,
Yep.
Shannon.
Oh, the Walmart internet.
Is
The
it?
Walmart internet.
It's the Mickey D's internet.
I'm
It's
gonna
Shang
get
Ping, man. He got angry about the Winnie the Pooh doll. He came in and just nipped your shit, man.
So you wanted to play that ad?
Let me see.
Oh wait, yes, absolutely. And also, I need to grab this chat from
That
a
was
few
like
minutes
20 minutes ago.
because yes, I know. I'm sorry. I did bring the thing up though.
All right, Mosh is here to keep us on track.
Yes, I know.
If I'm the one keeping people on track, it's a problem.
It's what you do.
Really?
That's organized
your
in
job.
Massachusetts.
Andy's
I
right.
I had to go find that chat real quick.
Yeah.
That was right as you left. It was kind of perfect timing.
The fact that Andy's watching this, I don't know, it says something
Hi,
about him.
Andy.
What is
Andy's
this?
great.
Hello,
This is
Brian.
the
Brian.
ad that was released by
The bottom-friendly menu.
Yeah, what would your voice?
What are you eating, Miss Pride? Well, if you're a top, it seems like you can eat whatever you want. But if you're a bottom, you're expected to starve? Not this Pride. Introducing the bottom-friendly menu from Postmates. We teamed up with Dr. Evan Goldstein from Bespoke Surgical to bring you a menu of bottom-friendly foods backed by science. Insoluble fiber won't help you feel cute, so avoid things like whole grains, wheat bran, cauliflower, potatoes, legumes. Hold up, are you just fully diving into those beans? The problem with these foods is they don't dissolve in water, which could cause a traffic jam in your digestive system, making a mess of your evening. Speaking of messy, it's a good idea to avoid dairy.
I cannot handle lactose right now. Look at her.
If you're going to eat something insoluble, give your body about 24 hours to process all of it. Soluble fibers and protein are the key to having some good, clean fun. These all digest easily and slowly while feeding your good gut bacteria, which makes sushi a great bottom-friendly option. There's no right or wrong way to bottom, but if you're planning on getting peachy this Pride, the bottom-friendly menu on Postmates has the kinds of foods that could keep you feeling good.
Are you organic?
So
Goldstein,
I've changed my mind. Bring on the collapse.
Yeah, I know. Let the Chinese come.
Jesus Christ.
I also want to get autistic for a second.
Goldstein, eh?
This is an ad for monkeypox.
like just to
We
get
actively.
I am
just
gonna
to
move
get
to Mogadishu.
autistic about this. Look, I think regardless of whether or not you're a dude getting butt fucked or you're a chick getting butt fucked, at some point you are aware enough of like not eating a burrito before you have anal sex, right?
Common
Like
sense.
Right, that seems like common sense, right?
Right,
Like what
so-
comes in must
so,
come
like-
out.
So like this is just like such. If you think about it, it's not just the fact that a food company even went, or like that a food delivery service even went there. It's the fact that they're acting like it's information that's helpful to know and is new, and the fact that they're giving it to you shows how much they care, because you might not have those resources, right? Like if you actually think about it, like the people that are planning to get butt fucked are pretty aware of what they should be eating and not eating before, right? Like,
As long as they're planning ahead, you know?
I just love. I waited until she said that last part and did put it on screen.
Holy shit.
Wait, I eat a healthy diet and they still take income taxes out. What's going on?
Oh, Kareem's like, I eat a healthy diet and it still comes out.
I still shit all over my boyfriend's dick. I mean,
Not eating a burrito before anal is the best argument for being straight. I'm sorry. I get burritos. Why would I stop for that?
True anarchy is having 3 Philly cheesesteaks before you get butt fucked.
Right.
when I was in high
true
school,
anarchy is
there
Use a
was-
tarp.
diarrhea before you take it up the ass.
in high school, there was a girl that told me how she shit all over her boyfriend's dick in the car, and like I wasn't even sexually active back then, but it's like the fact that she told me that happened was just like it always made me cautious about eating beforehand, right?
Well,
so
that's good
it's
for
just
you.
like it's like one of those things that you get told that might happen, and then you're just like,
Oh, these chats
for
have
as
been
long
fucking great,
as
I'm
I
sorry.
live, I will keep that in mind, right? But like the fact that they're saying this, it's like it's not new information for people that have to consider this.
The oops all corn diet.
Oops all corn and peanuts.
Fucking
Corn
just
for his
a
pleasure.
strong diet of almonds, walnuts, and just eating nothing but almonds and walnuts. You're just fucking all protein. Just-
Have they not heard of an enema?
You know what? That's
yeah,
just
I know,
not-
right? Like,
that's
wait,
just
isn't
not
that the
economically viable? A ribbed rubber has to be fucking less expensive than a diet comprising of some of the most expensive exotic walnuts the planet Earth has to offer.
Well,
Jesus
how long are
Christ.
you planning to do this?
No
like,
wonder
how,
the
how
game.
far do you
No
plan
wonder the
ahead?
gays are poor, dude. Jesus Christ. They're eating
just-
fucking
Spontaneity.
macadamias to get off.
That's amazing.
Having butt sex in a week and a half. I got to start eating right now.
gotta get on that diet, man.
And it's like what
You're prepping for
one
a
of those
fight.
things, like, why must it be on everybody's mind for the people that are going to receive anal sex how they should eat, right? Like, it should concern the people when they have anal sex.
Okay.
Right? Like, why? Like, there's this idea. It's like, oh, we are degenerates, but everybody should be aware of what we're doing. It should be normalized and cared for, etc. It's like, no, if you're a degenerate, you just do your own thing and figure it out.
No. You got to tell literally everyone you know.
Just make
If
sure
your
to huff
pastor
your
doesn't
poppers.
know what you're eating for
Okay,
your
so
partner.
here's what you do. You break out a calendar and you nail it to the front of your mailbox, and it just has all the dates that you're going to have anal on it, and then all the meals you're going to eat leading up to it. It has to be publicly stated. You got to put that shit in the newspaper. Like,
Leighton, you just
Well, no one
gave the
reads the
regime an
newspapers,
idea
so
for
it's gonna be
after the reset. Great.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is like
for ass over.
I'm
They
so
already
sorry.
want to.
I'm so sorry.
Looking your plate.
That's a great joke.
I sincerely apologize. We already made a Goldstein joke, but I had to make an ass over joke. You got
I'm just saying, I'm going somewhere else for my sex tips.
The inventors of sodomy shitting on sexual partners can now be a delivery service.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Big oofs.
Oh my god.
Now Andy brings out the jokes. I bring him on my show. He's silent.
Dude, he shit up. The first thing he does to you is call you a bicycle sexual and then starts dropping fire. So I guess Patriot Front is the next one. The next story
Federal
up.
Front. Yeah, let's do it.
Federal Front. Yeah, this is the Sarwark Front. So these guys have been identified now. I'm finding that story real quick, but this is the first one that I read, so it's the one that I decided to bring up. Because typically Washington Post came on my email also. So there's one of the people from that commercial we just watched in the corner. 31 tied to hate group charged with planning riot near LGBTQ event in Idaho. So first off, how the fuck do you get arrested for
Planning a riot.
planning a riot?
They have
Like, I don't.
years.
Maybe there's so. I guess I
Here's
just
an
don't
issue.
understand how you get. So did you literally just send a text, dude? Meet at this place. There's gonna be a riot.
was,
Is
Yeah,
that how this
but
goes down?
they were all in the back of a U-Haul, so
And there
there
was an
had to be
informant in
planning.
there with them.
There were three, according to the clip of the cop. The cop
Yeah.
said there were 3 informants in there.
So
There
I
was
want to point
probably,
this out.
31.
Why
but-
why would you commit a federal crime when you have to return a U-Haul? I mean, they
Yeah,
have your-
there's a whole
No,
bunch of
guys,
holes here.
we're gonna fucking
Probably under
riot,
one of
but we
their
gotta
wives'
get this
names.
over to the fucking. We gotta get this over to the furniture store by tomorrow at 6 a.m. to return the U-Haul.
So
Just
police
make-
and
Hey, Eric, make sure you fill the tank.
dude,
We used a quarter tank of gas to get here. Make sure you top it off before you take it back to fucking John's fucking home
Dude,
furniture.
whoever
tomorrow
picked up
morning
the
after
U-Haul
the riot's
100%
done.
argued about the insurance.
Yes.
Guys.
They're like, wait,
Guys,
dude, does
look,
mine
I
not transfer
understand-
over?
Guys, I understand it's $15 more, but I just feel like we should get the insurance on it because God forbid something awful happens.
Guys, we're going to a riot. We need the
We're
insurance.
going to a riot.
We need the insurance.
I feel like
he just
we need
says
to
it in the
insure-
U-Haul building. Police in Idaho
is at the U-Haul on the phone with his boys. Guys, I just think that we should get the insurance. We're going to a riot. Meanwhile, Shiloh behind the counter is just like, do I rent this? Do I rent this truck to these people? Should I do that? You know what? They don't pay me enough for this. Here you go, sir. Bring it back with a full tank.
Yeah. Police in Idaho arrested 31 people who had face coverings, white supremacist insignia, shields, and an operations plan to riot near an LGBTQ pride event on Saturday afternoon. Police said they were affiliated with Patriot Front, a white supremacist group whose founder was among those arrested. Authorities received a tip about a little army loading into a U-Haul truck at a hotel Saturday afternoon.
The
said
little
Lee
army
White.
that could.
The little army that could. The police chief in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, a city about
Coeur d'Alene.
50. Say it
Coeur
again.
d'Alene.
Coeur
Is it
d'Alene.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coeur d'Alene, yeah.
About 50,000 near the border with Washington. Local and state law enforcement pulled over the truck about 10 minutes later, White said at a news conference.
31 people, a.k.a. 71% of the population of Idaho, showed up in the back of a fucking U-Haul.
Literally 30 feds and a dude named Earl. That's what it was. They need one dude. That's
a
all they need.
wonderful phrase. 30 feds and a dude named Earl. That's wonderful.
Oh my god. Dibs on a band name. Dibs on a band name. 30 feds and a dude named Earl.
Named Earl. Yeah, that's a wonderful band name.
It's
You
just
have
a
to
bunch
wear
of people.
khakis.
It's a bunch of people wearing shorts and sunglasses and one dude in a white t-shirt. He's the only guy who gets to look different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it just all the way around. There's this video that goes along with it. I guess we could watch some of it.
Let me give you a little history. I'm very well aware of this area. Coeur d'Alene, Hayden Lake in the 90s, 70s, around there, and they started had an influx of the Aryan Nation. And then remember, Randy Weaver was much further north because this is it's really close to Spokane, so it's Washington, so it's really northern part of Idaho. And this area, Coeur d'Alene specifically, has really become resort-ish, nice area, nice golf courses. So you're not like the good old days of the backwards folks. So this really rings weird because it's too easy, right? Hey, it's Coeur d'Alene, it's the Aryan Nation, it's the Patriot Front in this area where there's a history of this, but that area is not like that anymore. So it's totally shipping these guys in. Why are their faces covered? This
Right.
Patriot Front
So-
seems like a joke the whole time. Who wears khakis?
There was also
I wonder
a
if
guy-
they use the same buses that the Mises Caucus used to bus white nationalists into the Reno convention.
Hey, I saw Kokesh's bus there. Maybe he was
we
just
gotta
moving up.
get we're getting a Greyhound and we're going to Reno, boys.
Right.
I saw that one guy got caught. There's a picture that he got caught with a megaphone. They took a megaphone from a dude, and it had an FBI insignia sticker on the side of it. I shit you.
I saw the picture. I saw the picture, and it was blurry, but you could tell that the sticker above it, not the sticker above it. It was one sticker. It said
Was it?
"Abolish the FBI."
Oh, did it? And it was just cut off?
That's like Sarwark having like a fucking abolish the Fed sticker. Like,
some dude in a
motherfucker,
black
you're on the
suit.
payroll. Yeah.
Some dude
Yeah,
in a
the
black suit
with the
walked
fucking
in, pulled out a packet of Amazon stickers, and went, "Here, slap this on all your shit."
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
All right, so we'll watch this here.
At least it wasn't, January 6th, and they didn't have to live through that. So,
no, Jesus
Right.
Christ.
The insurrection of insurrection.
Don't get me started on the insurrection.
I love they're just lined up. Also, is it typically normal when you get arrested to not be yelling and talking? Like, I love how
Yeah.
they're all just cordially
all of the videos.
These
we're
guys
just
would get
sitting here
riot,
getting
remember?
butt fucked. Like,
All of the videos I've seen of police is that they just stand around very calmly with their detainees, and they leave their masks, gloves, firearms, and sunglasses on.
Yeah,
Aren't they
Uvalde,
supposed to
that
take
worked out well.
gloves off? And
JC
all of that? They're
reiterates
supposed to
exactly
take
what I
gloves
just
off?
said. Their faces were covered. They were all kneeling with perfect posture. No one tried to resist. None of the cops needed to restrain them, and they had their backs turned to them.
Guys, listen. I'm all about freedom as long as it's done legally.
Well, they were going
This
to
group
go
of
and
people.
riot. That was the whole thing they got arrested for. These are not people who are on their way to a riot. We're going to go riot. We're arrested. Now we're going to calm down. That's not.
Well,
that's
and
not
it's
how
not
things
just
are.
they not only seem completely trained and like it's just a bunch of feds sitting around on grass playing around with other fucking cops who are basically also feds. So it's like this is just all like one big just butt fuck. They're all getting monkeypox, basically, is what I'm saying.
I think that Rachel Tobias on Twitter had the best point about this. She said, "Look at how physically fit all of them are."
Yeah, well, that's another thing I talk about is like I've known a lot of like in Alaska we have a lot of like militia groups and like groups of people who get together and train and do stuff, and you show up to any one of those and at least 35% of them are going to be 50 to 70 pounds overweight. And I'm not talking shit to those guys because I know guys that are my size that can move through fucking shit. I can't. They can. Great. But I just there's a certain bit of like, okay, all these guys are physically fit. Remember the photo that went around, the only feds of them standing around at that one protest a while back, and they're all in shorts. This is just those guys. Like they just got another gig. Like this is the same people. They're all built the same. They stand the same. It's fucking
Potentially.
It's all a cook. 100 of these guys got Postmates right before they got in the U-Haul.
But at the same time, like these guys
Earl did not get Postmates. He's the top in the situation.
Like these guys, they are very organized, and that's why they all just kneel down and let themselves get arrested. They don't resist. This is what a militia would aspire to be.
Right.
And especially where they're all physically fit. Like, yeah, any militia, I don't know how many of you have ever actually interacted with a militia. There are a lot of overweight guys, but they're usually in the background doing like a training thing.
Right.
Like, this is how we're going to run our weapons, things like that. This is how we do medical stuff. But these are the guys that you would actually send out to do something. Like this, it very well could be a militia, and it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I like the jokes. It's really fun, but it's not necessarily just a joke.
The problem I have with this not being at least somewhat Fed connected, if not induced, is the way that they rise in prominence, the way that the media kind of picked up on them. I know people say, well, they were covered back then. It's like, yeah, but no one the thing is like, especially with, again, like internet groups and some of the larger militias, like the ones that have multiple states and stuff, they have like organized discords and things like that where they talk back and forth to people. They go on random, safe platforms that have like, no censorship and things like that. I know there's lots of those groups around. The problem that I have is the organization, like on the other end, like what they were doing in the background, all the graffiti and shit they've been caught doing, all the other stuff, that isn't like the organized like front. Some of that stuff to me looks a lot sloppier. And what it almost leads me to believe is maybe this started as a real thing and as a militia, much like David's talking about, and then the government and feds come along and say, hey, we'll help you with that process because we need somebody to fucking point
fellow revolutionaries.
Exactly. And one of the things I point to is like, well, over this last like couple years or so, like one of the things I've said is that the government just finds people that they've interacted with in the past who had problems, and then they wake those people up, right? They just get them to do things. So you can take some, 22-year-old who had gotten caught making some threats or something in the past, who has some mental problems, who you've already got on your radar, and then you just pop back up and offer that person the opportunity to act on some of the things that they've talked about. That is how I view the government as doing these things, right? I don't mean they literally created a fucking group and organized the whole thing. That doesn't seem to be how they did things in the past either. Like even in the MK Ultra days.
Governor Whitmer, though, and that the
MK Ultra days are still going down.
Well, that's my belief, is like that is kind of how they adapted it, right? They realized at some point that the enhancement with drugs were not to be done directly through administering LSD to somebody. They were to be done generally in the population, and it would fuck people's brains up enough that you could just pick those people out of a crowd.
Y'all want a conspiracy theory?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
So in a group chat, there's a guy that was talking about SSRIs. and how they affect people. And it for the most part, people on SSRIs are pretty easy to spot, especially when they're acting out. But he was talking about how um, it made like your nerves more receptive to things, and that's why people on SSRIs are more jittery, more reactive to negative input. But then he went a little bit further and started talking about the government using some kind of microwaves to actually transmit thoughts to those people. And I was like, okay, this is weird, but maybe. I mean, they do lots of weird shit, and that could be a new way they would,
Yeah, I mean
get
that's
people to pop
exactly
off
what they were
kind of
trying
thing.
to do with MK Ultra to an extent, right? They were trying to get people
Yeah,
to
they
spaz
just
out and then
couldn't.
forget about it.
But they couldn't get that inception thought
Right,
going.
it's hard to get somebody to. The difficult part, from what I understand, is the trigger point. Right, you can get somebody freaked out and fucked up and paranoid and all that different stuff you need to
And
do.
then go shoot
It's
up a
hard
pool.
to get them to do it immediately when you need it. Right,
Yeah.
it's you have to kind of react to it. One thing that you mentioned with SSRIs, my mom, she had MS, which is a fucked up disease. But one of the things that it does is you typically a lot of people will take stuff like that, SSRIs, different medications involved in that, a lot of steroids and stuff connected to it too. But specifically with any kind of SSRIs and stuff, I've known a lot of people who've taken them, including like her at one point, and they're just fucked up in general. Like some people do legitimately need stuff, medications and stuff, but a lot of it is driven by lifestyle. Like I've known 3 or 4 people that I knew personally who had like ADHD and depression issues, and so they got stuck on a ton of medication. And all 3 of them now lead like healthy lifestyles where they wake up and they work out and they work jobs and have kids and stuff, and they don't take anything anymore. And it's because when they were taking those drugs, they were all like 80 pounds overweight, living at home, didn't have anybody around them, were antisocial, and then they started taking the drugs on top of it. It's like, whoa, you haven't tried any of this other stuff first. And the government has been actively pushing people to not try any of the other steps first, to just go straight to the meds. Like, oh, you got a problem, we'll stick you on that. I mean, you go to any public school, I mean, even here in Alaska, and a giant chunk of them are like, "Oh, I have ADHD. I'm on this medication. I mean, 2 or 3 at least. Yeah, and they're all basically amphetamines. They're all jacked up versions of past drugs that we all recognize were fucking horrible.
Well, we also need to bring up scopolamine.
Yeah.
Which is, the devil's breath, or whatever the street name is for it, that basically leaves you intact, but you are completely controllable. So, I mean, that sounds exactly like something they would utilize.
It's exactly what I think the government has been doing for a long time. I think it's just that a lot of the conspiracy angle people take is the government is orchestrating these things. I was like, well, no, actually, I think it's even more dark than that.
It could just be that it has those effects, and the government incentivizes those industries.
They know it and are taking advantage of it.
Yeah, right. And like, I just want to give my 2 cents. Like, I've done a lot of recreational amphetamine abuse, but it was mainly during a time when I was living with somebody who I was trying to tolerate. And I think that drugs made me a lot more passive and a lot more of like, I won't be mad, this is fine, we'll figure it out, kind of like just accepting of things that happen to me,
More likely to order off of Postmates. I'm sorry, I had to make that joke. I immediately wanted to apologize for it, but it had to be said.
It's okay, I was saying before we went live, like I got down to 118 pounds at 5'7". That's not nothing, and it was, I think, looking back, it was just more like I was trying to cope with living with somebody that wasn't treating me well. And if I maintained myself high enough, it was just like, it just made me so much more complacent. And actually, when trying to quit, I got on SSRIs, and it was it gave me a lot of compassion for the people that actually do have suicidal thoughts, because like you start on SSRIs and all of these thoughts go into your head, and it's really freaky. And I'm really glad like I was of sound mind enough that I was like, wait, these are not my thoughts. This is not how I normally think, right? And it's not like I was a teenager anymore, and I can't believe that like teens take this stuff, right? Because I feel like I've had enough experience with my brain that I was like, oh yeah, these thoughts are weird. These are not my own thoughts. I would never think this. And you catch yourself thinking this, you're like, nope, that's it, right? It's really freaky.
Yeah,
But I'm not gonna deny that some people that are on the verge of killing themselves, and for them it might help them turn around. I'm just saying, like I got really freaky thoughts, and those thoughts were not an issue to begin with.
Yep. I think the entire like culture of drug use amongst young people is like, even if you go back historically, like even to the 50s, 60s, was pushed in big part by the government themselves. Like, and not just like some of the SSRI stuff like that, but also like all the drugs, just like it's like everything. It's just all kind of like drug use in general. Like even when I talk to like my older family, and like they talk about it, like it's drug use was seen as like this taboo thing that a very small amount of people did because it wasn't out there in the public, even in the streets to an extent. And then it just changed all of a sudden. And like the way they talk about it changed all around the 50s. So that's the area that I like to look into research-wise when I'm looking at Fed shit. Is I'm always paying attention to the 50s. I'm like, what happened here that shifted things to where? But no, I know a lot of people who have gone through like depression and stuff because I used to be in like a lot of those support like group things, and yeah, a surprising number of them. A lot of it has like. It was a lot of lifestyle stuff. I think if you put yourself in depressive situations, it makes it a lot easier to get really depressed.
Yeah,
and then people turn around and there's this drug there and a bunch of people advertising it going, hey, we can fix that.
Well, the amphetamine stuff I wasn't doing it as advertised. I was taking way too much for it to be considered medical.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, again, like you go to some areas though that are prescribing things like the Adderalls and things like that, they will prescribe it, and then you'll come back and you'll have used the prescription faster than you were supposed to, and they'll still just fill you another one.
So,
like,
no,
it's like, well,
at least legally in the state of Massachusetts, they can fill it faster than 28 days. I know.
Oh, so you guys actually have a law. That's interesting.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of laws like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
because
that's interesting.
I have been that person
like,
at the pharmacy 28 days exactly being like, yo.
Yeah, because I know here in Alaska, I've known people who've literally been able to just lap it up within 2 weeks.
It is much harder to like doctor shop here.
Wild.
Yeah. I
My generation.
I got spoiled with a very good supply initially, so my tolerance is now like stupid high. But also, I was much easier able to quit once I got out of a bad relationship, and then I wasn't as unhappy, so I had fewer reasons to use, right?
Cool.
So my 6-year-old has anxiety. She's on the spectrum, but she's like Asperger's. The anxiety, like I found myself saying to her, because she would throw up every morning before school last year. And I'm like, okay, let's talk our feelings out. Because she was on medication, but I was trying to kind of getting her off of medication. So I'm like, let's talk through it. So she sits there and she's been off of the medication, and she actually sits there and talks about her feelings. And I'm thinking, if only more of us did this when we were 5, 6 years old. She's 6 now. She'll be 7 next month. And I'm thinking maybe we wouldn't be on, maybe we wouldn't be on medications that a lot of us are on for anxiety, whatever. And I'm thinking, I was able to like wean her off of all of her medications because she's sitting there and she's got those words. And at first I was like, I didn't want to give her, and I taught 5 and 6-year-olds, and we talked about her feelings. But when it's your own kid, you're kind of like, you have anxiety, you have autism, this is just a part of you. But it's like, when I'm 44. So like when I was 5 or 6, we weren't talking about our feelings. So, but I feel like, I don't know, like, I don't want her being on medication if she doesn't need to be on it. And by going through this process, I feel like, you know, I've been able to cut out 3 medications for her, and, you know, she'll be 7. So like, I don't know. I just feel like we're heavily medicating our children and it's becoming a crutch, when maybe we could do like alternative, you know,
right.
I mean,
practices.
they talk
True, but
about
not
they
that.
talk about like they talk about, oh, you know, this child has ADHD or whatever, which if you've ever met a child, you would know that they're not exactly receptive to sitting in the same place for much longer than a few minutes.
It could be
But
that
it's
they're
like,
responding to their
but you
environment
put
because the
these,
environment is bad for them. Like maybe that could be like the way that they naturally respond, and that they're in the wrong place.
oh,
Their
for
attention
sure.
spans
But
are not.
and the wrong place that they're in is public school. Is
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah,
you send these kids to a place where it's like, sit
Yep.
still for
Yeah.
8 hours. You're going to just sit still, stare forward, and you're going to listen to some archaic, monotone cunt go on about, you know, whatever the fuck she's teaching.
Well, you,
You know,
can
like-
go to public school and they will make sure that within 20 years you are needing to watch Postmates ads.
Yeah, basically. Basically.
And
But I mean,
thi-
I have my brother has 5 kids. Like, my nieces and nephews.
God bless.
My niece, yo, God bless for
I
real,
have 4
because it means
brothers.
that my family's not on my ass to have kids. I'm a double income, no kids for life, baby. But yeah, like, I mean, I love my nieces and nephews, but holy shit, I mean, they have so much energy. Thankfully, my brother is homeschooling all of his kids, so like they get to get that stuff out. But you know, it's only now that I'm older and I'm like, Jesus Christ, if you tried to sit these kids down and have them just sit still for 8 hours a day to do some government
can't.
schooling,
Good luck.
like they
Good
would be going fucking insane.
Yep.
And then
Hey,
and
look
then
what
you wonder why we have all of these things happening as of lately. And it's like, well, I mean, you take humans. It's the same concept of taking a dog and breeding it to be a fighting dog. You know, no dog is inherently just violent.
Yeah.
But you take it and you isolate it, you beat it, you remove any of its sense of self, and then eventually it's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to fucking viciously attack everything that comes at me.
Eventually that
And they're
dog
doing
goes, yeah, I'll watch
they're doing the
Postmates
same
ad."
thing. Yeah, they're doing the same thing with kids, and they're like, yeah, one day you're going to watch the Postmates ad and you're going to be like, yup, that's me. Let me eat this high fiber ass diet. 2
Wait
scoops.
until the day when the lunch lady gives you fish because she thinks you're a bottom.
Yeah. Make sure you take your 2 scoops of Metamucil, Timmy.
You know, one thing I want to point out is
Tyler.
it kind of freaks me out, the implication of what this is going to do for people trying to stand up for kids, is because now if you say that you don't want your kids going to Pride, you can be labeled a right-wing extremist. So, I mean, that's really concerning.
I'm at the point where, like, if that's what they want to call people who don't think it's okay to fucking bring your kids to Pride and like watch people get walked around in fucking dog costumes and shit, like, so be it. Call me a a right wing extremist. I'll do it all day.
I mean, I totally agree, but it's scary. I mean, with like the disinformation board and like all of this, like 1984.
Oh, the Ministry of Truth. Yeah.
So like, I mean, this is why it screams Fed to me, is because all of this seems way too perfect, and like the timing is just impeccable.
You know, it's
the
funny
fucking
because
khakis, man.
Yeah.
it's funny because like 3 days before the shooting happened in Philly, I was like, I said, I posted on Twitter, I was like, the shootings are going to continue until people forget about inflation and gas prices. And then like 2 days later, oh, there's a horrible shooting in Philly. Now, mind you, the corporate press purposefully neglected to report on the fact that out of the 4 shooters, 2 of them were people that were concealed carry permit carrying citizens that actually shot the perpetrators. They would never tell you that. But I was saying just before, like right after the tragedy in Texas happened, I was like, dude, these things are going to happen until the general public is not concerned about gas prices and inflation. And I think that's true. I think it's going to continue like that until the only topic within the mainstream media is what they call gun violence. Now, mind you, we don't talk about knife violence or hammer violence or hand violence where somebody chokes somebody to death. But, you know.
Yeah. And to this chat randomly talking about Owen Benjamin, because that was something I mentioned a few days ago on Twitter. Owen Benjamin got canceled, and some people didn't care on the like right and like other people who also like normally would have supported him because he kind of did some other shithead things behind the scenes that like pissed a lot of people off too. It wasn't just the fact that he got canceled; it's the fact that he got canceled and then burned a bunch of bridges right afterwards, which makes it kind of hard to garner support once you get canceled.
I'm so sorry. Is Owen Benjamin, is that the Canadian guy?
Yeah, he's really cool. I do like him.
He's not a bad dude. Like he's got good content too.
He seems to be doing much better now. It seems more of his speed where he should be.
Yeah.
But you're relating, you're right, because at the time he was going at it with Steven Crowder. There was controversy there, and he did seem like he was coming unraveled a bit. So, and then I kind of felt
full blown nutcase. Yeah, he was. I think he was.
Yeah.
Again, allegedly, and no proof of this that I'll put forward. The rumors were that he was using some drugs and things like that, and kind of spun out, and then got canceled right around the same time that all that shit and other drama was going on, so it just fucked up the whole thing, right? Like, there's no way to recover from that if you've got... And now he actually is. Like, I'll give him good credit. I know he's, like, growing a fan base again. Like, his fan base is growing and people are coming to his side. And I know he was doing a bunch of shows. He was on a couple people's podcasts recently, and he looks a hell of a lot better. Because there was a few years there where, every time I'd see a clip, it was kind of like seeing Opie from Opie and Anthony. If you've ever seen what he is now, it was kind of like seeing clips of him where it's like, oh, God, what happened?
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
what went on here?
I am a fucking East Coast native.
Mm-hmm.
South Jersey, Philly. So, yeah, Opie and Anthony was like my shit. And
that shit's sad, but also at the same time kind of hilarious to sit back and laugh at.
Conservative Adam Kokesh.
How about sober Adam Kokesh? Because he went on fucking Tower Gang Pod.
When was this? Oh, that's right. That was
a couple of weeks ago.
I watched it.
Adam's actually
Top Lobster had to jump on in because Top Lobster said that they were being too nice to him. So
yeah, I watched it. It was great.
It was amazing.
Adam Kokesh looked like Adam Kokesh on Tower Gang. Looked like Burning Man did a line of ketamine off of somebody's boner in a South Philadelphia bathroom. Like he did not look good.
He was a Postmates ad.
I mean, you guys got to admit, like, he has good abs.
Absolutely. Dude,
no, didn't you see that those were photoshopped?
What?
He has good.
No, he just posted a picture today. I think they're.
You said he has good apps. Like
abs.
What are the Postmates appetizers that they recommend for not shitting on your boyfriend's back?
Yeah,
Adam Kokesh is vegan, so he probably does have like a pretty high fiber diet. Good for getting butt fucked.
I heard vegans always have diarrhea. I bet it just oozes out.
No, they don't get the diaringus, but they
like
just
turning
they
on
just
a
get,
spigot,
they just
like
get,
a water
7.5 foot logs of pure fiber.
It's just green logs.
I'm so glad I drank for this.
Oh my god.
What's up, ladies?
Me too.
So
Drain
here's
this
the
one.
thing. So
Drain
I
this
shared a clip of Kokesh,
Coke
that he never really responded to, and I don't think he ever will. But it's a clip of him talking about some shit that he did when he was in the military that I think's pretty fucking abhorrent. And I will stand on that and die on that hill. I know a lot of people who are in the military. I'm friends with people who are in the military. My fucking goddamn it. And the problem that I have with either what he is saying in that clip is not true, and he's lying, and he's just trying to get cred and some kind of sick credit on the internet, and that's fine. At the time, he didn't have a huge following, so I understand it. Or he did it. And if he did it, or he didn't do it, in both those situations, he's a piece of shit. So it's like, I don't know what to do here. Because, like, I used to love that guy. I followed him. I donated to some of his shit. But the fact is like, after the shit came out of what some of his campaign managers were messaging to other people and hiring fucking basically trolls to dox and go after people, which I think is fucking A, criminal, and B, should be fucking frowned upon by anybody in the liberty movement.
Yep, fake and gay.
Yeah. The aftermath of that, his reaction to it, you know, the guy's dad is a crook. I think he's fucking cut from the same cloth. I'll just say it.
I'm so glad this whole stream has a theme of poop.
Oh, fucking yes, it has been a lot of shit talk.
God damn it.
I did say to somebody asked me what the show was on Twitter, and I told them we shit talk. So
yeah, hey, he ain't lying.
Oh boy.
After the shit came out, I thought that was going in a whole different direction.
Get it? It's a stream of poop.
You got a little poop in your life?
We can watch the rest of this because I think the guy does talk in here and kind of. I think maybe the cop talks in this clip. I wasn't sure if this is the right one.
Fucking khakis.
I know the khakis.
These guys stopped a U-Haul full of dudes, masked up.
These guys drove over to the buy one get one sale at the Gap, and then they went over and rented a U-Haul, and they planned a ride.
They just took the badges off their FBI uniforms.
Who's that guy? That guy didn't even get the memo, bro. He's an.
Oh, you know what? I am so sorry. I said the Gap.
I gotta pause this. Who's the fucking idiot who showed up in the wrong uniform? They're like, we're gonna look all black and badass. We got all our black on. We got matte guns and all this shit. No silver anywhere. Dude shows up in green. They're like, what the fuck? Who brought the wildlife cop to the
fucking Officer Doofy, dude? He came from fucking Parks and Recreation. Yeah. No, I said the Gap earlier, and I actually meant Old Navy. They went to the buy one get one at Old Navy, and then they rented the U-Haul.
You're talking about the two different uniforms, though, Leighton. I think you're looking at state police and probably sheriffs.
Yeah, No, I figure it's we have so over here you have the troopers have blue and black, and then the cops have just black. So you kind of have to differentiate them that way. So I know that it's and like wildlife cops over here wear that blue or that shade of green. Yep. That's why I said it's got to be one. Like, who invited the wildlife cop?
They're taking down a bear.
You get on the badass team. Blue and khaki.
I bet a couple of them are bears.
Blue and khaki, Tim, not black and blue. You never pay attention to chat.
You all leave it.
Not.
You know who we need to take down these feds? More feds.
That is how it works. I've seen undercover FBI.
Quick, get the feds with more armor.
That's that's
that
literally
motherfucker he's got his
that's-
zip ties a rope on his back. This motherfucker came strapped and prepared.
He brought his rape kit with him.
He brought his.
Hopefully, he doesn't have Postmates though. He's gonna do that.
Nah, he
This
just got
dude is
that-
the
There's
top.
not-
This dude is the one who
It's not
eats
like
whatever he
the top.
wants.
He's the one that doesn't want poop on his dick.
There's not one chick in this fucking U-Haul. Like not one chick, not even a
fuck?
butt.
If there was a chick in that U-Haul, oh god.
Shannon,
These are
I hate to
these are
break it to you.
feds. They could have gotten away with anything.
U-Haul is not about diversity. They are a fucking shipping company.
Didn't they miss the mark?
boxes in here, and we call
Shouldn't they have had a Ryder truck to make this more legit?
Yeah,
You would think,
There's
Tyler.
Oklahoma City.
I mean, listen, if we were in Europe, it would have been a fucking DHL truck, but
Right.
you know.
By the way, who's delivering that javelin? Anybody have an idea what is that an Amazon product?
No, the javelin is going to come DHL to the United States, and then it's going to get lost in the USPS mail and end up at one of my fucking
That's what
senators'
happened to the guy
houses.
who tried to order the black uniform. It just didn't show up. He ordered it USPS, and that motherfucker took
It came USPS media mail, so we had to go on Amazon Prime and get the fucking wildlife uniform.
But goddamn right, you know your Postmates order is gonna come.
Imagine a truck full of libertarians. They'd like be all
Every
elect,
Postmates
like
order
just fucking
comes.
wear whatever
a
the
truck
fuck
full
they
of
wanted.
libertarians would literally, you'd be able to smell the riot before it started. You'd know they were coming. You could stand outside the Ryder truck. It's libertarians.
It would smell like patchouli. It would smell like
It's
patchouli
either a
and
furry
negligent-
convention or the libertarians are here.
The libertarian truck would smell like patchouli and negligent discharge of 556.
That isn't me talking that much shit. I am a fat guy who is been fat, so I understand about hygiene. Like, if you're a fat like Big J Okerson, he's talked about this. Like, if you're a fat guy who understands that they're fat and ugly, you have to have perfect fucking hygiene. You better be able to, like, it needs to be on fleek. I go to fucking conventions, events and stuff, and there are people there, and it is, oh god. They look like me, except they don't understand that they look like me. so they have gone the opposite direction.
Thick beards don't have to shower. I think you look good. I think you look good, Leighton.
Yeah. Some baby powder, you're good to go.
This is so. If you don't know, there is a clip of me getting roasted on
the spit?
On Skankfest, on Legion of Skanks. So there was a Legion of Skanks ugliest fan competition. They had like something like 350 submissions, and I made it in the top 5. I got 4th place, I think. But so I got this submission video. So I have a video of Shane Gillis, Dave Smith, and Lewis, and all of them just shitting on me. And it's one of my favorite things that will live on the internet.
Did they?
I have the clip on my
Imagine
Twitter.
getting 4th place in an ugliness
You have
contest.
to share that.
I
Share
wanna-
it again.
I want to be
later.
on that thing.
That's fucking insulting. Getting
Dude,
4th place. in
Dude,
an ugliness
Shane
contest.
Gillis said I looked like a pug. It's one of my crowning achievements. Also, who just dipped out?
Yeah.
Did
Masha.
Rothbardian.
Masha. Oh,
Mashita. Where
okay.
did she go?
Pretty rude.
No.
She might
You
be
can't
back.
say mashita. Mashita is a Japanese suffix.
She just texted and said that her internet pooped out.
Dropped.
I'm
Yeah.
so she's staying within the theme of.
Pooped out.
Yo, this is the poopisode. This episode is all about shit.
I'm gonna name this the poop episode.
The poop
That is
episode.
100% what this is being named.
This
By
episode
the way,
is the shit.
When in doubt,
I
shit
wasn't
it
gonna.
out.
I couldn't put people's faces in the thumbnail. I always do this.
Why?
This has been my thing. I've put everybody's face in the thumbnail. Dude, it kept changing. I had Sam was added to the show in the last 6 minutes. Ryan wasn't coming on until the last
Sam was dialing into America Online. I have fiber optic, and I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure that I had my epic intro because.
Oh, what's great too is your intro was with the blown out mic. Your intro was with that megaphone mic when you gave your intro, and so I think everybody thought it was on purpose.
Mod for fucking having garbage, fucking voice shit because I use voice mod for my soundboard and all my other stuff. I have voice changers. I have a Joe Biden sound effect, but I can't do it because I switched to my regular mic.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
We're gonna. Anyway. This may be episode 17, but we all know it's really number 2.
That's a great way to sum it up. So I don't know. I did find out that the Patriot Front people were identified.
Yeah.
They identified.
Yeah, as fucking Sergeant Higgins, Corporal O'Malley, and all of the other fucking mix.
So I'm bringing up this article.
Thomas Rousseau. No, that's legit. That's the guy's name.
That's
Thomas
the
Rousseau.
Dude, yeah. So he was a leader of Vanguard previously.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm sorry, my
Vanguard.
My Wi-Fi just stopped, and I'm not even on potato internet. I'm on God City internet, and it's just.
That's fine. We got Idaho police identify more than 30. So wait, the number changed. So now they're just more than 30.
They probably found out which one was the Fed.
What's 31?
Yeah,
if you look at
it was 30 and one Fed.
Masha. 31 is technically more than 30.
What?
What?
Wait, what?
Masha's the Fed.
No, she's a Russian.
Why am I the Fed? I am KGB. Thank you very much. I report to Dimitri.
KGB.
So yeah,
she leaves.
I am KGB. Disconnected from chat.
Equal share for everyone.
I'm getting PTSD to my StarCraft days. The KGB agent left the chat.
We need more Vespian gas.
Oh god.
Hey,
Okay,
do you
so
think,
I've got to blow up their faces here so we can get a good look at these white supremacists. Oh god.
They're
do you
just gonna
think
look
the
like us.
Zerg could fix our energy problem?
Damn.
Oh man.
They all have hat
this is
hair.
looking
Second from the right.
They all have hat hair from their mask.
70% of these dudes, I would bet their last names are fucking Alvarez or Ibanez. Look at these motherfuckers.
You can't see my cursor,
isn't
but
right,
look
you
all the way.
have thrown in like a black guy.
That's
Can we
Johnny
talk
Damon.
about
He used
the-
to play for the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox.
Can we talk about the dude who is literally straight from a fucking cave that is dead
That's
set in the
just
middle
Shrek.
bottom row?
No. He's not from a cave. That man is an American character in a Japanese video game.
that dude said is ooga booga and drags you away. That is 100%.
That guy is the motion capture artist for Guile in Street Fighter 7.
But we gotta talk about Blue Steel.
Above him is an
Second
extra
row, second
from
row.
Sons of Anarchy.
That is the Thomas Rousseau. The guy above him with the straps. It looks like he's wearing I don't know. I guess tank top.
No.
That's Thomas Rousseau. That's the only one.
He's the only dude who doesn't have hat hair.
That's Tommy Salmon's doppelganger, dude.
His grandpa is George Lincoln Rockwell.
Listening to Year
No shit.
Zero.
No, I'm kidding. But that sounds
Who
about
said
what they would want.
Street Fighter?
I said Street Fighter.
Okay, top
The
corner
guy,
is
the
definitely
guy
not all
underneath the Wish.com version of Tommy Salmon's is an American character in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I just love half of these dudes look like they're going to be streaming.
American desu.
American. Wait.
America's in this.
Banzai.
Dude who looks like he's staring at the camera with the whitest eyes possible and has the Hitler mustache up in the top. that dude
Is
looks like something.
Is it
You know who this guy? You know who that guy is?
Yeah, that's Keith.
That's
just
Clark
Keith.
Claw's son.
No, that's the dude who burns the toys in Toy Story.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
That's fuck. What is his name? But that's
Sid.
that
I'm
character.
bringing it up.
That's that
I'm
character.
bringing it
if He
up.
was 27.
Sid.
Yeah, that's Sid at age 27.
The guy below him, he definitely moisturizes a lot.
His father
Absolutely.
drinks Steel Reserve and he uses a lot of cocoa butter.
Oh my god,
Masha,
this photo
aren't you
is
Jewish?
perfect.
Masha, are you Jewish?
She is, yeah.
She are a
The
resident
guy
Jew
at
besides
the
you?
absolute right of the second row, that's just
Yes.
Chris Hardwick.
But yes, I am Jewish. Sorry,
Chris
thank you for
Chris
letting me on
Hardwick.
that, guys. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
my poop
I
pad.
didn't see you in the background.
Oh,
I'm
it's
also
okay.
Jewish. That's why I make
So-
the Jew jokes on the show.
Who's more Jewish? Is Masha more Jewish or
Masha,
More.
Leighton
definitely.
more
I
Jewish?
think definitely.
She's Russian.
Because-
Plus two to Jew.
Yeah, but my
Guys,
my
wait. Hold on,
actual
hold on.
Jewish family connection
Listen,
is probably weaker.
Listen, we
But
have
you
a
have
couple
Jews in
Jewish-
Hollywood, Jews.
We have a couple
That's
Jewish
true.
people in the chat, so we need
Let's
to
make
ask.
fun of them.
We need to ask the Jewish question. Does the
Which is?
does the propeller
Which
cost
one?
extra on the little hat?
Oh, gee.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh my
That one, none of them have the propeller.
Oh god.
Does the propeller
Also,
cost extra?
tell me I'm not right. Tell me
Yes.
I wasn't right. Tell me I'm not right.
Oh Christ!
That motherfucker is Sid from Toy Story.
Oh my God!
100%.
Oh
That's
God!
wonderful.
You are so horribly
Wow,
demonetized.
I have no
That
words.
shit. He's 100%. He fucking grew up and decided to stop burning the toys and start going after Browns. I guess.
This
I
is
thought
going
they were
to be
burning LGBT, so he's still after the
Oh,
toys.
I guess there. Oh, he's still
We're
after.
gonna get flagged.
Oh fuck.
Leighton's gonna be big and famous, and like a year from now, this is gonna be the episode that like cancels him. They're gonna unearth this
If I have
episode.
any notoriety in a year from now, every episode will get me canceled.
Yeah.
It's every one of these has had something in it somebody could get pissed about.
At least
Honestly,
we're
the-
consistent.
Honestly, the guy above Cro-Magnon, the guy above Cro-Magnon is like.
It's funny, we all know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that guy is the guy that would ask for a Marlboro Red at the Pantera show 20 years ago.
The dude next to the
Pantera.
Cro-Magnon looks like a Spanish dude. I'm just saying it. Like, he looks
I
like he's
told
like...
you, 70% of these motherfuckers, their last names are either Alvarez or Ibanez.
Right, because here's the thing, like, if you're really a white, like, some of these guys look inbred as fuck. They're probably real white supremacists. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, Mister there in the white shirt who's staring straight at the camera, I guess, I don't know
He owns a meth
how to
lab.
call him. Dude, there's so many people on here own meth labs.
He
A
owns
bunch of
meth
these guys are
lab,
TikTokers.
And he's an owner-operator. No, and he's an owner-operator. No
Am I
offense,
the only
Reed
one that
Coverdale.
thinks that they have like a black guy? Like this just doesn't seem legit. Like,
I
you
think they're
should've had black
supposedly
guys.
white supremacists. I don't think that's how it works.
In 2022, white supremacy
It
is
means
omniracial.
The entire group had bonded out by Monday afternoon.
Who paid for that?
Yeah, no
What
fucking
about
shit.
Enrique Tario, whichever. He you know.
I'm just gonna say goodbye. Good to see you all, guys.
Yes,
We'll do it again. Thanks for having me.
Oh.
Continue on,
Tyler,
Shannon. Sorry.
everybody go check out Tyler's stuff.
Thank you.
At Tyler Yanka.
It's
Yes.
Yanka.
Yes.
At
Tyler's bedtime. He's got to get his cycling in.
No, he has to get his fiber-rich diet from Postmates,
so that he doesn't get his cycle dirty.
Look at this dude posing
He's
for the
got a
photo
hot
here in the
lighter, I'm
sheriff's
sure
hat.
He needs to pay
Officer,
attention to his
jerk me
wife.
off. Could you hold your belt buckles while I take this fucking picture?
Officer, could you look like you have the smallest penis possible?
Officer, look like
that, man.
Officer, do me a favor and look like you're about to pull over a black person who was guilty of driving while black.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. This whole thing, man, it is amazing to me how much people buy into it but this one, man, everybody's like, nah, this is Fed shit. Everybody seems to be pretty cohesively on board with
Even
this
the
being
fucking
some glowy shit.
Even the leftoids are like, these are fucking feds.
Yeah. It seems pretty universal, and I think maybe that, I don't know. Maybe, I guess it doesn't seem like that should be on purpose, but I don't know. It seems weird. Everybody seems to see these guys are fake as fuck. I guess that is it for the show, guys. We can kind of close out here, everybody, and I guess we'll give everybody a chance to plug and say anything else they want to say. If anybody has any other topics,
I gotta actually plug my thing.
Cool.
We'll do that.
All right. Well, we'll start.
Plug
I
it
guess
like
if
a
we wanna go in
Postmates
order.
asshole.
Just end the show right here. Just end the show right
You
here.
got a
Perfect.
show going like that. Yeah, that's good.
That's my follow. My handle is Liberty Layton on Twitter. All that jazz, and you guys can check out the rest of the shows that we have backlogged. Ryan, and we'll move on down the road.
Yeah, you can follow me at murderbeam_TV on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, but I'm pretty much constantly in a 30-day ban. If you would like some libertarian science fiction, check out Project Manicore on Amazon.com. You can get it in ebook. You can also get it in paperback and hardback now. It is kind of strangely...
Will you read it to us?
I am actually currently
What if we
in the
don't
process.
read?
I am currently in the process of narrating the ebook, and I'm also adding sound effects and shit. So like when like a door opens or like certain stuff happens, I'm adding sound effects as well. So
And I thought
there will...
Murder Beam was a chick, so I'm like really mind blown right now.
Yeah, you're totally fucked because it's me. I thought it was hilarious
I know, I
because
thought it was
you're just like
For
you
months
see
now,
me
I
in the
thought it
chat
was
all
a
the
chick.
time, and it's like, motherfucker, you've watched me on Dave's podcast, but I love that Shannon didn't know it was me.
I didn't. Yeah. I'm like learning shit all the time. Look at that. The
Yeah,
more you know.
It's me. Yeah. It's been me the whole time. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. My ebook is on Amazon, and I also have a business, Autonomy Virtual. You can go to autonomyvirtual.com. We are a primarily business-to-business oriented entity where we are trying to help small businesses get through the 2 years of economic devastation that has been inflicted upon this country. Shannon, go nuts.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm at Rise to Liberty Pod for what was just retweeted. I don't fucking know. I don't plug anything. I'm Shannon. I'm Sharon, called worse. I'm Cruel Spark. My Liberty friends hate me. They're a bunch of fucking assholes. Like, I don't know what else to say.
I will agree with you that they're all a bunch of
I
assholes, but
enjoy
they
the-
actually generally like you. So
I enjoy
Half of them are even
I
clean.
enjoy the abuse. I don't know. No, whatever. Masha, go for it.
Sure. You can find me at Rothbirdian on Twitter. And actually, here is a plug for something that I'm doing, and I would like your help. So, if you live in New Hampshire and you're listening to this, you should help me collect signatures for Jeremy Kauffman's Senate campaign. So, if you DM me on Twitter and say, I want to collect signatures with you, I will figure out a day at a time when you and I can go to Market Basket and collect signatures to get Jeremy on the ballot. Or if you're interested, go to jeremy4nh.com.
But
Yeah,
Florida
that is
still
awesome.
is better than New Hampshire.
agreed.
I'm a
We have
bird
more
that flies
Jews.
north.
We have more Jews down here, homie.
I'm
I
sorry.
think there's definitely a concentration of Jews in Florida.
I'm a bird meant to fly north since since April.
The
I have
YouTube
been in New
algorithm just
Hampshire.
had a fucking aneurysm at concentration of Jews.
So since April, I have been in New Hampshire every single weekend collecting signatures for Jeremy Kaufman. So if you want to join me in this wonderful process, DM me.
Awesome. I think that closes everything out, correct?
I think.
What about
I am
Kareem?
We ignored Kareem.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we're
I'm
ignoring
sorry.
it.
Wait, was I supposed to pass it on? I'm so sorry, Kareem.
I missed it. No, I missed skipping over him because it was in a different order, but it might be different on other people's screens too. It's my fault.
Who the fuck
go ahead.
knows? Like,
Kareem's camera is too good, and he
directly.
looks white, and you just skipped right over him.
Dude, it just, I'm sorry,
Ignoring the
Kareem.
fact that his name is Kareem.
Just skip over the Muslim.
Way to live up to the stereotype, bro.
We were talking about organized Jewry. Here it is, right here. I'm gonna take you right off the screen. We're gonna wait. You come out of the shadows, and I realize that you're Middle Eastern. I'm like, and away with you.
Kareem, I love you. You can come here. It's fine.
Kareem knows I love him.
Kareem loves everyone. That's
No, I
the
don't.
best.
No,
you love
I
a Nick Star Wars.
absolutely not. Heck no. Dude, I was at actually the conference and people were getting annoyed because I'm like, hey, man, you can get like a Secret Force, take out like the World Economic, take this. They're like, stop. So anyway, you can find me at Kareem for Liberty on Twitter and on my Facebook. Also, you can find my small podcast at The Essential Libertarians on them YouTube. So go check that out. That's all I got.
That's more serious than this one.
Awesome. For the people wondering, I did find the clip of me on Legion of Skanks, so I think we're going to close the show out by playing that clip.
Awesome.
Because there's a bunch of people on here who haven't seen it,
I
and there were
haven't.
people in the chat, including Magoo, who was asking for it. So, and then I will post it again on Twitter, so people can have it, so that they can make fun of me.
Weren't you going to let me talk this time? Yeah.
Oh, I forgot another one. God damn it, my order got all the way butt fucked, man. I'm
No,
watching a
it's-
fucking Postmates ad over here.
It's because Shannon passed it. It's because Shannon passed it to Masha.
Yeah.
And just
That's what it
straight
did.
up,
You fucked it, Shannon.
She
It's
straight
the
up fucked the whole Brady Bunch order of things.
It's the woman. We
This
go
is why
out of
Marsha
order
killed
'cause we wanna
herself in
talk.
season 7.
You're ruining my eye makeup.
That is what happened too, because I had it going in order on my screen.
You were going down the Brady Bunch
Sorry.
line, and Sharon just straight up fucking ruined the whole goddamn order of things.
God, I hate that smart asterisk.
So anyway, I'm David. You can find me on Twitter at _a Liberty Wizard. I also did just start my own podcast, Doomcast. If you especially like ASMR fire shit, watch the last half of every episode. It'll be out on the weekends.
When am I coming on?
You're not. Watch the show and you'll find out why.
Oh my god. Okay.
So
Watch the
I'm
show
gonna.
and you'll find out why.
We're gonna close out with the cringe of a much younger me without a beard and about 40 pounds heavier. So we'll have fun with this.
How old were you?
was last
This is 3-4 years ago. This is pre-libertarian. I was a fucking absolute piece of shit.
No.
Oh, I was.
No.
Trust me.
You're too young to be a piece of shit.
This is gonna look like garbage too because I had to send it to myself and it's already crap.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I
All right.
definitely
Guys,
like the
chat.
longer hair.
Yeah. What's his name?
Entering the ugliest Skankfest fan competition.
Clayton?
I'm wearing a Tap Out t-shirt. That is the most ironic thing about this.
Did you?
This is a Johnny Cash Tap Out t-shirt I have on. I still have this motherfucking shirt.
Did you just get back from yelling at your girlfriend in public at a sports bar? Because that's the only reason to own a fucking Tap Out t-shirt.
Oh my god, they're so
There's
cringe.
a funny thing here. Here's the thing. It is exceedingly difficult to find clothes because I'm a bigger dude, and I'm also in a state where there's just not big people clothes. Like, there's no Big and Tall store here or anything that sells. You can't
Alaska
find anything
only
over
has
2XL.
Macy's. They got
You can't
Macy's
find
and
anything
JC
over
Penney's.
2XL.
Just skin a moose or something. You'll be fine.
Use Amazon.
So you can't find anything over 2XL, so you get fucked. So then I would go find shirts. Well, one of the few brands is in the mall in town, in the city here in Anchorage. They had a fucking Tap Out booth, and it had shirts in my sizes. So I would buy bulk Tap Out shirts, and it was the most it was hilarious to me because I'm like this fat guy walking around in a shirt that's made for MMA and shit like that. But yeah, so this is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. I'm gonna skip past this shit. I'm actually gonna die. I'm gonna cringe to death.
Brought to you by Ridge Wallet.
Well, you just lost Lewis's vote.
So if you hear there, they were doing the presidential thing at one point a while back. This was when they had first mentioned it. So I said at the end of that clip, I'm like, and I'm gonna vote for fucking Jay for president, which was the whole tenet of the thing. And yeah, that was the clip. But then they do this.
That was not a smart move.
No, that's it.
Can I say,
as president, he knew that I would understand him. I understand what that guy. He didn't have to say it all. He's just showing you, like, look, I'm young. I look like this.
There's more.
This
all
is,
right.
yeah.
I love
sucks though when
Jay.
you get fat enough that it's like you're a boxer. Or it's starting to close your eyes. That's always a negative experience. You know?
Looks like Hannah Gatsby on a filter.
Oh, I'm actually retarded now.
He's not ugly. He's just a fat piece of shit. He's not a great looking dude, but he just doesn't have that ugly it factor that those two contestants
He's
had.
also
He doesn't
not
have
ugly
that.
enough, dude.
The other guys, that's a great way to describe them. They both had it factor.
He's also the kind of heavy that, like, you don't even know what he's gonna looks like until he loses weight. You know what I mean?
He could be gorgeous, actually. If he
Yeah,
lost
he might-
weight,
that's
he could be a handsome man. He's got a nice, cute little button nose, nice smile.
Button
He might
nose.
have
That
cheekbones.
was the clip I kept using.
Do you know what a button nose is?
It's a button nose right there. I want to push that little button nose with my tongue.
Oh my god, I can't.
I've played that. I have responded to Lewis so many times with that little clip.
You know, if I saw this
He's got a mouth of a bulldog, dude.
2022, I would.
He's built like a pug.
Built like a pug.
He's built like a pug.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love Shane. He's the best.
All right, everybody have a nice night.
night,
Take it
buddy.
easy.
Thank you
Peace.
guys. Bye.